And I'm just hoping that she's just keeping her head down and just, focusing. It's all about focus at this point, and knowing your worth.
What do you think of this hot mic moment? Because, Lenny is like doubling down on the fact that there was no girlfriend Katerina before and it all happened
I don't
after.
know why she's speaking. No one asks. No one's on playing Wheel of Fortune with you. No one's asking for a K and a L. No one wants Katerina, whatever her name is, to speak. Be quiet. Have a seat. No one. No one. We don't want Lenny to speak. We don't want Katerina to speak. Be quiet.
Just back up and be quiet,
Back
right?
up. Have a seat. Your name will be called momentarily, but not right now.
Do you ever run into Lenny? Like, do you never run into
No, no,
him
no,
or
no.
because it's
As much as a flash I am in Miami, I attend philanthropic events, charity events. Dinner, yes, of course, and I don't nightclub. I just I'm a loungy kind of girl. I'm not a nightclub person, so I don't believe that we'll be hitting the same strip in one way or another. You know what I mean?
me too. I like a nice lounge. Let me sit at a bar at a nice restaurant, have a
Have a conversation
martini.
and people watching, honey. Miami Ocean Drive is known as people watching. I don't even go to Ocean Drive. I haven't been there in like 10 years, literally.
I would be happy to never go to a nightclub again in my life, to
Right?
be honest with you. It's not my scene either.
I
It's just
know. No, thank you.
too much.
And it's not Russell scene either, trust me.
Well, we saw, like with everything that Lisa and Lenny were going through, like you did
Yeah.
kind of question your own. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
Russell is nothing like Lenny, like, but we saw you go through it of like, which is understandable of like,
Mhm.
who would expect that? And, talk to me about that.
All of it happened while we were filming. So you have to understand that it's not like, oh, this happened and we were about to film so you can process it. This happens. Did you hear? Did you hear what? Lenny's, leaving Lisa. What are you talking? So I'm literally with Russell and I want to punch someone. And I'm looking at Russell like, will you just, and that's like you see me react organically because I'm like, who can you trust? You know what I mean? So it shook me to my core because I just couldn't believe that it was happening to her. And yes, you saw signs of it when he's like, "Are you happy?" He's like, "Yeah, oh sure, sure." You do see that, but it's like, man, like Russell could easily play that role in a sense of like just being like, "Oh, whatever, who cares?" Yeah, 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 yeah. But I know he loves me, and so I think Lisa thought he loved her, and that's where you see the disconnect of like, do you really, is this really true? And you have to understand that longevity in a relationship causes people to be a little bit more aloof and kind of like, yeah, 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 and you take it for like another day at home, but then are we really in the good place? So that's, I kept asking him, are we okay? Are we okay sexually? Are we okay, in every aspect? Because I wanted to make sure I was good too, so, and it was a blessing in disguise because then the men spoke, and Russell, for him to have said what he said and on screen, I was like, let me fix my bangs here. What? He was very like candid about it, and I thanked him for it. And it was a blessing. It was therapeutic. And now look at us. We're in a better place, honey. From 3 a week to way more. So we're doing great, Yeah, it's still work. Relationships are work.
They are work, right?
Yeah.
And right, like to do it on screen, like that was really an authentic moment.
I would not have done this show if I was doubtful of any part of my relationship. So it wasn't like Russell's like, I'm not happy and I'm about to leave. It was like, no, I want more. And I'm like, oh, you want more of this? So it was a good thing, that I was able to give. Of course, I'm gonna be more open and receptive of that. So if it would have been the opposite of like, well, you know what, I'm over you, and that would have been a different conversation, of course. But so I learned through Lisa, and what she said to us was, was the reasons for, or whatever, however she was discovering her truth. I took that, ran with it, sprinted back home and said, okay, I got some tools and elements here. Let's play game. Let's find out what's going on and sort it out if need be. Yeah.
And hopefully, like Lisa will see that in the long run, this is probably the best thing that could
Yeah.
happen. Do you know Jody Glidden, this new man that she is seen with all over New York and Miami?
No. Is that her? What did you say?
Well, there's this man, Jody Glidden, that she's
Okay.
photographed with. It's in Miami holding hands in New York
Okay.
City. Have you ever met him?
I don't know. It could be her stylist. Who knows who, I don't know. Until it's official, I don't know anything. And you know what? Whatever she likes, I love.
Do
Yeah.
you think like it's too early for her to be dating?
I don't think so. I think that everybody has their own internal clock, ticking, and there's who am I to judge? Who's anybody to judge? I think that everyone processes things differently. Yeah.
I would think so too.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you learned, and has this like, what have you changed from this season? Like, is anything, like good or bad? Like, have you had a deep moment, or is it really just in your relationship with Russell, or have you had any?
Well, I mean, this group is very complicated, and some things apply to some, and some things don't. So it's just that we have to have clarity. This reunion, I hope, is going to provide clarity in a sense of how we integrate together. That's what my hope is, so that we are able to say, ideally, you know what, after watching the scene, because when you're in the scene, you don't even have a clue of what's happening in third party, experiences sometimes. And then when you start watching it and you realize like, damn, I came off this way. Oh, I didn't know she said that. What? And then you start putting it all together and you're realizing, damn, I'm going to learn from this and hopefully it will never happen again. I owe this person an apology. I was a piece of crap, So hopefully people are going to have a grown-up way of showing up to the reunion where there's ownership taken for things that are done in not such a good way, not in the best way. I hope. And if that's not the case, then we're gonna have a great reunion, and I mean it in the worst way.
Who do you think is going to have the most tension going into the reunion?
Larsa and Nicole. Hence, Larsa and Nicole, or Larsa and Alexia, or Larsa and Alexia against Nicole. It's going to be a 3-way, 2-way. It's going to be bad. It's going to be explosive. Yeah.
We see like in the trailer upcoming, you don't have to give any spoilers. It seems like, the rumor is, Alexia, I think, has even dropped this hint that there's a big explosion coming between OGs. It seems Adriana's involved.
There is.
And
there is.
It seems like it's Marisol and Alexia versus Adriana, and something is about to go down, or maybe Larsa.
It's a lot. There's so many, again, I walked away every single time that we had dinner together or a trip, a getaway. Oh, the getaways are hell on earth, and you just don't even know what happened because it goes fast and freaking furious. And it's inexplicable because it's an out-of-body experience that you're in it and you're watching it from afar and you're like, what, wait, please hold her. It's so many and I'm a planner, so I can multitask, but these girls together in more than 2 hour span, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I'm a person, and I'm like, and that's why you see my facial expressions cannot be helped. I cannot stop this because it's just literally like,
there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. And I try to peacemake, but people need to be receptive of peacemaking for this to happen. So where we are right now,